Hello, my name is Keith, the IT teaching guy, and I'm currently going through the A Plus certification in IT, going from being a pizza guy to learning the IT world. And my goal is to get a few different certifications, and um, this is actually just a study tool that I'm using. Um, in teaching others. It actually helps teach yourself. And so when I make these videos, just going through the material that I'm learning, explaining it to others helps you understand. So that's pretty much my goal with these videos. As I'm going through the A+, I'm in the beginning as the third video, I believe. And it's under memory expansion and storage in their study tutorials in this class that I'm taking. I'm under storage types right now, different storage types, and also their connectors. They kind of threw that in there. I didn't think that was going to be in there, but so I learned about the connectors and the storage types. So going through today, removable media. And so what I want to do is go through a few different of the they they mentioned 5 main types of removable media: floppy disks, flash memory, tapes, optical disks, external hard drives, and yeah, that's it. So let's go take a look at some of these. Um, let's take a look at floppy disks first. Floppy disks are pretty much a legacy device. Legacy, I guess I would say it wouldn't necessarily be a device, but it's something that doesn't get used, I don't think, much anymore. So, floppy disk. And they used to have larger floppy disks, and then they shrunk them down and they have smaller floppy disks that actually had a little bit more space to them as the years went on. Let's just look at some images. Yeah, they had the 5.25-inch disc, and then the 3.25. So you see the first picture here with the black, the orange, and the blue floppy disk. You just had the larger ones, um, and they didn't hold a lot of space. It was like megabytes, kilobytes. Yeah, it wasn't a lot. Um, like it was what, the 3.5-inch floppy disk hold 1.44 megabytes. Like this little tiny black guy here. So it didn't have a lot of space, and so, but I mean back then I'm sure that was quite a bit of space. So, because most stuff was just text, and yeah, that was kind of the internet, a lot of text, or text files and Word files and things like that. Maybe like low quality pictures. Uh, so, as we go on to flash memory, and a lot of people know what flash memory is. It's the most common type of memory that is used for removable media, or the flash. Yeah, that's not flash memory. That's the flash. Okay, so that was kind of cool. But anyway, so now we're on flash memory, and a lot of it we know is USB sticks, or you have little memory cards, or they use some flash memory on some other cards too as well. So you see all these just flash memory, different things. Flash. Okay. So that's a quick picture through there. Then they talked about tapes. Um, Tapes for computer storage. Okay, this should work. Huh? Yeah, I don't know. They're like really old tapes, huh? So here's kind of a picture of some of those tapes for backing up your computer. And they said tapes today are actually the most cost effective. They can hold up to I guess like a terabyte, about a terabyte or so of space on a tape. If you want to back up your files and stuff, you can either get an external drive for a tape or internal, um, depending on. And there's tons of different types of tapes. I think there's like 10 to 20 different types of different tapes you could use. So I guess you'd have to like take your time to see what kind of tape or tape drive you need. So and then after that, then they talked about optical discs, and most of us know optical discs still today. You got CDs, DVDs, and Blu-ray discs is the most common, and we can read and write to these discs. Some are single layer, some are dual layer, some are recordable, some are rewritable, where you can record many times on them. Some are only once. But a CD holds 650 megabytes to about 700 megabytes. A DVD is 4.7 gigabytes, which is pretty good. Dual layer DVD, I guess it's one on each side, is a total of 8.5 gigabytes. I'm not sure why it's not exactly doubled, but they said 8.5 gigabytes. So, and then Blu-ray, if you get a single layer, it's 25 gigabytes, which is huge. And then a dual layer Blu-ray would be 50 gigabytes, so that's actually doubled. So here's just CD, DVD, right? It pretty much looks the same, or Blu-ray, right? It's probably gonna show me Blu-ray of fish or something. Blu-ray disc. So, yeah, okay, Blu-ray disc. So, yeah, after they talked about those, they talked about external hard drives, and we've all seen different hard drives. You can get many different types of external drives now. You got the regular hard drive, you got the solid state hard drive, so you got a lot to choose from. So we don't need to go to picture of a hard drive. Actually, let's just do that. Hard drive. See, there's the hard drive, and that's the older type with all the platters. And now we're really getting into a newer types with the solid state, and they don't have any of these platters, these metal platters, and so there's no moving parts. And that would be the solid state hard drives, SSD hard drive. So those are the SSDs. You can see in this picture the solid state versus the regular hard drive. Moving parts compared to no moving parts, and solid state is a lot faster. So, but it's more expensive at the moment because it's newer technology. So we'll go on from there to the next section. They were talking about external hard drives, common up to 3 terabytes or more now. Like I said, a regular hard drive or an SSD, and common connection for those are USB, FireWire, or SCSI ports. Then the tape drives, yes, like I said, they're most cost effective right now for backing up your computer files. Computer, let's see here, external, internal. So computer peripherals, I should say, like computer devices, they connect using ports. And the main ports they mention are DIN, USB, FireWire, D-sub miniature, or abbreviated DB, register jack RJ, and then audio ports. So those are the main ports. And so they said the common term for connections, they mentioned plugs. Says, I gave an example, like a plug would be something like a headphone jack, or what would you can call a headphone plug. The word plug, uh, hmm, let's see. I wrote down in my notes. I'm just trying to figure this out now. It said a jack. I think they were saying a plug and a jack, basically the same thing, unless it was vice versa. So what happens is you take, say, a headphone jack and you plug it into a plug. Okay. So let's check this out online. We can maybe clear up something. Headphone jack connects to a okay, so let's just put plug. Or maybe it's a port, huh? Well, what is a port? Maybe it'll show. Lots of different ports, right? Different things, plugs. Is it plug? Yeah, it's something you plug into, right? Jack. So I know like jacks and ports. I think it's jacks and ports. They're like synonymous. Weird pictures. Okay, so we'll move on from there. So ports. So a port gets plugged into a jack. Okay, or into a plug. I'm sorry. A headphone port gets plugged into a plug. Well, yeah. So anyway, but they have a general term called a connector, and a connector is able to describe a jack, a port, or a plug. So it's just a, say if you wanted to be like, okay, this connector, you can talk about anything, something on the computer, the headphone jack, the whatever it may be, it's a connector. So next they went on to USB A, and that's our main USB. And this first picture here is the picture of a USB A, and then there's micro USB for smartphones, and most of us have smartphones, so we know what micro USB is today, and that's one of the most common now for cell phones. And then they had the USB B, which for like printers and scanners and things like that. and then there was mini USB, as you can see in this picture, and that would be for like digital cameras and not many smartphones anymore. Most of them are micro USB. And then there's the FireWire. Next was FireWire, and that you can connect high-speed devices to, like digital cameras and things like that, right? And USB and FireWire are hot swappable, means you could just plug and play and take it out. And FireWire comes in a 6-pin, 4-pin, or 9-pin, and 6-pin is powered, and a 9-pin is also powered. Just a little more, I guess. And then they moved on to hard drives. So they talked a lot about tape drives and external drives. Then they talked about connections. Then they went back to, then they're talking about hard drive connections. So an IDE or a PATA, it has a 40 or 80 ribbon connector or cable. And that's usually, they said, with 2 or 3 connections. It comes with that. So you can hook up multiple drives, want like a master or slave, I would guess. And then the SATA has a 7-pin connector. So we could look at the IDE ribbon cable versus the SATA, I guess it would show here. So, so you see the IDE ribbon cable, and then we see the SATA connection, the difference between it. And today we use SATA a lot, and the fastest SATA connection is SATA 3.0. And yeah, that, like I said, a 7-pin connector. And then mostly now there's this other connection called a SCSI, SCSI, and mostly they use that for servers now. And a SCSI you can connect into a daisy chain, 15 different devices, and that would come in a 25, 50, or 68-pin connector. And it also has like what they would call an ID for that connection, to configure the SCSI connection either between just different jumpers or switches, to be able to set all that up. We can kind of take a look at a picture. SCSI. So there's this SCSI connection, and then like different ribbons and cables down here. And see how they can connect a lot of different devices to the SCSI. So it can be useful, depending what you're doing, I suppose. Something I learned today that was really exciting is that I thought, SSDs, they're the fastest hard drives, for storing stuff and then recalling it back. Because normal hard drives, you have to wait a long time, for that stuff to be found on the hard drive and then load up and things like that. Just an SSD really just speeds up a lot of things, right? But I didn't know. I guess I've been busy this past few years, but they have SSD drives on a PCI Express connection, and so you can the speed is just so much better. Instead of having to use the SATA connection, you're putting your hard drive right onto the motherboard, basically. So it's a lot faster, but it's a lot more expensive. I think it was like $350 for I think 120 gigs, something like that. So it's a little pricey, but I'm sure it's worth it. So I think that was all of the information I got for storage devices, external media, about hard drives, optical drives, disks, flash memory. So it was pretty an exciting class, I suppose, to learn a few different things, especially that SSD on the PCI Express. I don't know where I was to not know about that, but yeah, that was really exciting today to hear about that. But like I said, these videos are pretty much just for myself. If you want really good A+ videos, you want to get your A+ certification, you go to freeaplus.com or the same website, basically, professormesser.com, and yeah, it's just wonderful how James Messer, he just has really great videos teaching for A+, Networking Plus, I think Linux, and maybe even Security Plus. I'm not sure, but you go on the website, it's all free, and you're just basically watching the videos he made that are playing right off of YouTube, but they're all on his website, so they're all organized, and you can go through it a lot easier. So, well, thanks again for listening, and I hope you will keep studying too, because we don't want to stay in a fast food job or a basic job. You want to move out of your parents' house someday, and yeah, I just want to be able to take care of my family and get a career, and move up into IT. And I like computers. I've been working since I was a little kid with computers back in the 80s. And so I just figured it'd be the best way to go, especially that's where all the technology is going. You have everything's on the internet nowadays. So you have your servers, your networking, your internet, and people need to troubleshoot this. People need to troubleshoot computers and devices, and so everything's pretty much going to go mobile devices and stuff. And we'll need people to fix those devices. We'll need people to manage servers and internet connections and all of that. So it's just a good field to go into. That's going to need a lot of people to help maintain all of this. So, well, keep studying, and good luck on your tests. Alright, bye.